Part 1. The Discovery. The survey ship Whisper of Stars had been traveling through space for 300 years. It moved slowly from star to star, looking at planets and moons. Most of them were dead rocks. Some had simple life. None of them were special. Vensu was a young cartographer on the ship. Her job was to make maps of new places. She had 4 arms and blue skin, like all members of her species, the Kalari. She was bored. Every day was the same. Look at a planet. Write down what she saw. Move to the next one. Then she found Earth dotted first. She thought her equipment was broken. The small blue planet was screaming into space. Not screaming with fear or pain. It was sending out radio signals in every direction. Music, voices, strange electronic sounds. All of it mixed together into a wall of noise. This was wrong. Very wrong. When a species was ready to join the galactic community, they sent out a special signal. It was a mathematical pattern that said, "We are intelligent. We are peaceful. We want to talk." Every civilized species knew this. The blue planet was not sending that signal. It was just shouting, like a child who did not know anyone was listening. Vensu called Captain Morath to look at her screens. Captain Morath was old. She had seen 1,000 worlds in her long life. She had 4 eyes, and all of them went wide when she saw the data. "Uncontacted species," she said. Her voice was careful. "We need to observe them before we do anything else." The Whisper of Stars moved closer to the planet. It stayed hidden. The aliens below did not have good enough technology to see the ship. For 7 days, the crew watched and learned. What they found made them afraid. The planet was called Earth by the creatures who lived on it. They called themselves humans. They looked strange. 2 arms, 2 legs, soft skin with no armor or scales, small eyes, flat teeth. They should have been weak. They should have been prey. They were not. The planet itself was trying to kill them. The ground shook and broke apart. Mountains exploded with fire and melted rock. The weather went from burning hot to freezing cold. The water rose and fell and flooded the land. Radiation from the yellow sun poured down on everything. On most planets, life needed millions of years of peace to grow. Earth had no peace. It was a war zone. Every creature fought every other creature. They ate each other. They killed each other. The strong survived. The weak died, and humans had become the strongest of all. Captain Morath read the reports with growing horror. Humans had only been civilized for about 10,000 years. In that short time, they had spread across their entire planet. They had built cities. They had created machines. They had split the atom and released the power inside. They had walked on their own moon. "That is not possible," said the ship's science officer. A Varathi named Trem. His body was like a floating jellyfish, and his membrane was turning dark with stress. They should still be living in caves. No species develops this fast. "Look at their history," Vensu said quietly. She had been reading everything she could find. They never stop. They never rest. They fight and die and fight again. When something knocks them down, they get back up. Every single time. Trem floated closer to the screens. He watched a video feed from the planet below. Humans were building something large. Thousands of them worked together like insects in a hive. But they were not insects. They were individuals. They argued. They shouted. They laughed. And somehow, they kept building. "What are they making?" Trem asked. Vensu checked her data. "They call it a space station. They are putting it in orbit around their planet. They are reaching for the stars," Captain Morath said. Her voice was heavy with worry. "They have not even learned to live in peace with each other, and they are already reaching for the stars." She walked to the communication console. Her hands were shaking. "I must report this to the Concordance," she said. "The High Council must know what we have found." The Concordance was the government of the galaxy. It included almost 5,000 different species. They had lived together in peace for 12,000 years. They had rules about how to contact new species. They had protocols for everything. They had never found anything like humans. Captain Morath sent her report. She included all the data, the videos, the radio signals, the history of violence, the impossible speed of human development. She sent everything. Then she waited. The response came faster than any message she had ever received. Normally, the Concordance took days or weeks to respond to survey reports. This response came in hours. The message was short. It was marked with the highest priority seal. Captain Morath. Read it 3 times to make sure she understood. Quarantine immediate. Do not engage. Do not reveal your presence. Await further instructions. The Grand Council will assemble. Vensu looked at the captain. The Grand Council? They have not assembled in 4,000 years. Not since the Devourer swarms, Captain Morath agreed. Her face was pale. Not since the last great threat to galactic civilization. She looked back at the blue planet on the screen. It looked so small, so peaceful from this distance. White clouds drifted over blue oceans. Green and brown land masses spread across the surface. It was beautiful, and it was the most dangerous place in the galaxy. What do we do now? Vensu asked. We watch, Captain Morath said. We stay hidden, and we wait to see what the galaxy decides to do about humanity. She sat down in her command chair. Her eyes never left the image of Earth. I have lived a long time, she said quietly. I have seen wonders and horrors, but I have never seen anything like this. These humans, they are something new, something the galaxy has never faced before. Are they a threat? Vensu asked. Captain Morath was silent for a long moment. I do not know, she finally said. But I know this. Whatever they are, whatever they become, the galaxy will never be the same. We have found something that cannot be controlled, cannot be predicted, cannot be ignored. She closed her eyes. The galaxy has found humanity. And I think the galaxy is afraid. Outside the ship, the stars burn cold and distant. Below, on the blue planet called Earth, 8 billion humans lived their lives. They did not know they were being watched. They did not know that far away. The greatest powers in the galaxy were gathering to decide their fate. They just kept doing what humans always did. Building, fighting, dreaming, reaching for something more. The galaxy watched. And the galaxy waited. Part 5. The galaxy watches 8 years after the Rethkari attack. Everything on Earth was different. The old arguments seemed small now. Countries that have been enemies for centuries worked together. Resources that were once spent on fighting each other went to a new goal, reaching the stars. Scientists from every nation studied the crashed alien ships. The technology was advanced, but humans were clever. They learned fast. They always had in secret bases around the world. Teams worked day and night. They took apart the Rethkari engines. They studied how they worked. They built their own versions. They tested them, failed, tried again, failed again, kept trying. On the 8th year, they succeeded. The first human starship was called Hope. It was not beautiful. It was made of metal and determination. But when its engines fired, it moved faster than light. It crossed the distance to the nearest star in hours instead of years. Humanity had joined the Galactic Age. The news reached Nexus Prime within days. The Concordance called another emergency meeting. This time, there was no debate about what to do. Everyone knew the isolation protocol was finished. The only question was what came next. "They will find us," Admiral Kren said. "If not today, then tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then next year. We cannot hide anymore. Then we must decide how to greet them," High Arbiter Thiessen said. "As enemies or as friends?" "After what happened, will they even want to be friends?" asked Delegate Morin. "We watched the Rethkari attack. We did nothing." The chamber was silent. Everyone knew he was right. Velith Prime stood up. Her blue glow was bright with emotion. "That is why we must act now," she said. "We must go to them first. We must explain. We must apologize. And we must show them that not everyone in the galaxy is like the Rethkari." "And if they attack us?" someone asked. "Then we will have our answer," Admiral Kren said. His voice was tired. "But I do not think they will. I have studied them for years now. Yes, they are violent, but they are not stupid. They know they cannot fight the entire galaxy alone." Not yet. The debate continued. Some wanted to wait. Some wanted to attack before humans grew stronger. Some wanted to send diplomats. Then a young voice spoke up. It was Vensu. She was not young anymore. 50 years had passed since she first found Earth. Her blue skin had faded to gray. Her forearms moved more slowly, but her eyes were still sharp. "May I speak?" she asked. High Arbiter Thiessen nodded. Vensu walked to the center of the chamber. She did not project charts or graphs or military data. She projected something else. Stories. Human stories. She showed books written thousands of years ago. Poems about love and loss. Songs about hope and freedom. Art that captured beauty and pain and joy. "I have spent 50 years studying humans," Vensu said. "Not just their wars, not just their weapons, their hearts, their dreams, their souls." She showed a painting of a starry night, a sculpture of a mother holding her child, a poem about two roads in a forest. "They dream of peace," she said. "They fail at it. They keep failing, but they never stop trying. Every generation, they try again. They build, they break, they build again." She turned to face the assembly. Double quotes. "Yes, they are dangerous. Yes, they are violent, but they are also beautiful. They love with a power that frightens me. They hope even when there is no reason to hope. They refuse to give up even when everything tells them to surrender." Her voice grew stronger. "If we offer them friendship, I believe they will take it. Not because they are weak. They have proven they are not weak. But because they want to believe that the universe is more than just violence and fear. They want to believe in something better." She paused. "But if we do not offer friendship, they will remember. They will remember that we watched while they were attacked. They will remember that we hid while they died. And they will never trust us." She looked at each representative in turn. "I am old now. I will not live to see how this ends. But I have seen enough to know this. Humanity is coming to the stars whether we want them to or not. We can meet them with open hands or closed fists. The choice will shape the next 1,000 years." The chamber was quiet for a long time. Then High Arbiter Thiessen stood. "Let us vote," he said. "The question is simple. Do we send a diplomatic mission to humanity? Do we offer them friendship?" The votes came in slowly. The final count was close. Very close. By 17 votes, the Concordants chose friendship. 6 months later, a Concordance diplomatic ship approached Earth's solar system. It moved slowly. It broadcast messages of peace in every human language. It made no threatening moves. Human ships came to meet it. They were rough and ugly compared to the elegant Concordance vessel. But they were armed, ready. The two groups faced each other in the darkness between worlds. On the Concordance ship, High Arbiter Thiessen waited. He was nervous. His entire life had led to this moment. The human ship sent a message. "Unknown vessel. State your purpose." Thiessen took a deep breath and replied, "We come in peace. We are representatives of the Galactic Concordance. We wish to speak with the leaders of humanity. We have much to discuss." There was silence for a long moment. Then a new voice came through. It was a woman. Her voice was strong and calm. "This is Captain Sarah Chun of the United Earthship Defiance. We have been waiting for you." Thiessen felt his heart beat faster. Waiting? We knew someone was out there. We knew someone was watching during the invasion. We have been wondering when you would finally decide to talk to us. There was something in her voice. Not anger, not fear, something else. "You may approach Earth," Captain Chun said. "But understand this. We are not asking for permission to join the galaxy. We are already here. The question is whether you want to be our friends or our enemies." Thiessen nodded slowly even though she could not see him. "We would very much like to be friends," he said. "Then come," Captain Chun said. "Let us see if we can build something better than war." The ships traveled to Earth together. In the Grand Chamber of Nexus Prime, representatives of 4,847 species watched the live feed. They saw the human cities, the human faces, the damage from the Rethkari attack still being repaired. They saw humans looking up at the sky with hope and fear and determination. High Arbiter Thiessen met Captain Chun in person. She was smaller than he expected. Gray hair, steady eyes, a smile that showed teeth but somehow did not seem threatening. "My people have a saying," she said. "We come in peace." Thiessen relaxed slightly. Then Captain Chun smiled wider. "We also have another saying. Do not start none, will not be none." The translator struggled with the words. But somehow, Thiessen understood. He extended his hand in the human way. "Welcome," he said, "to the galactic community." Captain Chun took his hand and shook it firmly. Behind her, 1,billion humans watched. Behind Thiessen, thousands of species held their breath. The age of isolation was over. The age of humanity had begun. No one knew what would happen next. The future was uncertain. There would be challenges, conflicts, misunderstandings. But for the first time in a long time, there was also hope. The galaxy had been afraid of humanity. Maybe they still were. But standing there, with their hands clasped in friendship, they all understood something important. Fear was not the end of the story. It was only the beginning. And the galaxy would never be the same. Part 2. The Council convenes. Nexus Prime was the center of the galaxy. It was not a planet. It was a station, built over thousands of years by hundreds of species working together. It floated in the empty space between stars, far from any danger. This was where the Concordance met. This was where the future of the galaxy was decided. The Grand Chamber was the largest room in Nexus Prime. It could hold millions of beings. Today, it was full. Representatives from all 4,847 member species had come. They filled every seat. They floated in special tanks of water or gas. They hung from the ceiling. They crowded the floors. No one could remember the last time the chamber was this full. High Arbiter Thiessen stood at the center of the room. He was a Morkai, one of the oldest species in the galaxy. His people had been traveling the stars when most other species were still learning to make fire. He had gray skin and wise eyes. He had seen empires rise and fall. He had seen wars and peace. He had never seen fear like this. "You have all received the data from the survey ship," he said. His voice was calm. Translation machines carried his words to every ear, tentacle, and receptor in the chamber. "You know why we are here. Before we decide what to do, we must understand what we are dealing with." He waved his hand, and a holographic image of Earth appeared above the chamber. It rotated slowly, blue and green and white. We will hear from our experts, Thiessen said. Listen carefully. The first speaker was a biologist named Caliph. She was a vreen, a species that looked like tall, thin insects. Her voice was clicking and sharp. Earth is a death world, she said. Most life in the galaxy grows on peaceful planets. Stable climates. Gentle conditions. Earth is not like this. It is violent. The ground shakes. The mountains explode. The climate changes from ice to fire and back again. She showed images on the screen. Volcanoes, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes. Life on Earth does not cooperate, Caliph continued. It competes. Every creature fights for survival. They eat each other. They kill each other. The weak die. The strong survive and make more strong children. This has been happening for billions of years. She paused. Her antennae twitched with nervousness. Humans are the result of this process. They are predators. Persistent predators. They do not run fast. They are not very strong. But they can keep moving when other animals must stop. They chase their prey until it cannot run anymore. Then they kill it. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Many species had never heard of such a thing. They also have something most species do not have until much later in development, Hella said. They have adrenaline. What is adrenaline? Someone asked. It is a chemical in their bodies. When they are afraid or angry, their body releases this chemical. It makes them faster, stronger. It allows them to ignore pain. A human in this state can do things that should be impossible. She stepped back. The next speaker came forward. This was a historian named Voss. He was an Arnathy, a species that looked like walking trees. He moved slowly, but his words were heavy with meaning. Human civilization is young, he said. Only 10,000 years. In that time, they have created and destroyed many societies. They fight wars constantly. They kill each other over land, over resources, over ideas. He showed images of human history. Armies marching, cities burning, blood on the ground. But this is what you must understand, Voss said. They do not just destroy. They also build. Every time they fall, they rise again. Every time they break, they heal. Their history is a cycle of destruction and creation, over and over, faster and faster. He paused. 50 years ago, they could not fly. Today, they have walked on their moon. They are building stations in orbit. They are sending machines to other planets. No species in galactic history has advanced this fast. Then he showed something that made the entire chamber go silent. It was a bomb. A nuclear bomb. The image showed a city. Then a flash of light. Then nothing but fire and dust. They built this, Voss said. A weapon that uses the power of atoms. It can destroy entire cities in seconds. They built it, and then they used it. On themselves. On their own people. Horror rippled through the chamber. And after they used it, Voss continued, they did not stop. They built more. Thousands more. Today, they have enough nuclear weapons to destroy their entire planet many times over. Why? Someone shouted. Why would any species do this? Voss did not answer. He stepped back. The final speaker was Admiral Kren. He was a Thalassian, a species of warriors. He had blue skin, powerful arms, and eyes that had seen many battles. When he spoke, everyone listened. I am a military man, he said. I have fought in 3 interstellar wars. I have studied combat my entire life. I know what makes a species dangerous. He looked around the chamber. Humans are the most dangerous species I have ever studied. He let that statement hang in the air. Individually, a human is not impressive. They are small. They are soft. They have no natural weapons. But they do not fight as individuals. They fight as groups. They plan. They strategize. They adapt. He showed battle records from human history. When they face a stronger enemy, they do not surrender. They find ways to become stronger. When they are outnumbered, they use tricks and traps. When they are losing, they keep fighting anyway. He shook his head. I have run simulations. One human soldier, properly motivated, could defeat between 4 and 7 of our standard infantry units before being killed. Not because humans are stronger, but because they simply do not stop. The chamber erupted in noise, shouts, cries of disbelief, arguments. Admiral Kren raised his hand for silence. There is more, he said. Our scientists have analyzed their technology. They are developing faster than light travel. Our best estimate is that they will succeed within 50 to 100 cycles. The noise stopped. Everyone understood what this meant. Once they have FTL, Admiral Kren said, they will spread. They will explore. They will find us. And when they do, he did not finish the sentence. He did not need to. High Arbiter Thiessen stepped forward again. He looked older now, tired. We must decide, he said. The galaxy must choose what to do about humanity. Do we welcome them? Do we destroy them? Do we hide and hope they never find us? He looked at the image of Earth, still floating above the chamber. I have served the Concordance for 500 years, he said. I have never faced a decision like this. Whatever we choose, there is no going back. The fate of the galaxy depends on what we decide today. The debate began, and outside, in the cold darkness of space, humanity continued to reach for the stars. They did not know that the most powerful beings in the galaxy were meeting to decide if they should live or die. They just kept dreaming of the future. They did not know that the future was watching them with fear. Part 3. The Factions. The debate in the Grand Chamber lasted for 7 days. Species that had been friends for thousands of years now shouted at each other. Old alliances broke apart. New ones formed. Everyone had an opinion about what to do with humanity. By the third day, 3 main groups had formed. Each group believed they knew the right answer. Each group was sure the others were wrong. The first group called themselves the Preemptive Coalition. They wanted to destroy Earth before humans could spread to other planets. Admiral Kren was one of their leaders. So was Shard 7, a delegate from the Kryn. The Kryn were made of living crystal. They thought in terms of mathematics and logic. To them, the answer was simple. Look at the numbers, Shard 7 said. His body rang like a bell when he spoke. Humans are violent. Humans are aggressive. Humans are expanding. Every day we wait, they grow stronger. Every day we wait, the cost of stopping them grows higher. He projected charts and graphs onto the chamber screens. If we act now, we can end the threat with minimal loss of life. 1 planet. 8 billion beings. That is tragic, but it is manageable. If we wait until they have spread to other worlds, the cost will be much higher. Trillions could die in an interstellar war. Many species nodded. The math was hard to argue with. We have done this before, Shard 7 continued. The Devourer swarms threatened all life in the galaxy. We destroyed them. The Rix Collective wanted to assimilate every species. We destroyed them too. Sometimes, a species is simply too dangerous to coexist with. Admiral Kren stepped forward to support him. I do not enjoy the thought of killing 8 billion beings, the Admiral said. But my duty is to protect the Concordance. These humans, they scare me. I have faced enemies in battle. I have seen death. But I have never seen anything like what humans can do. He showed more images from Earth, wars, weapons, soldiers who kept fighting even when they were wounded. They do not think like us, Kren said. They do not value peace like us. They are built for conflict, shaped by conflict, defined by conflict. If we let them join the galaxy, they will bring that conflict with them. The second group was the integration faction. They believed humans could be taught to be peaceful. They believed humans could join the Concordance and become productive members of galactic society. Their leader was Velith Prime, the head of the Velith species. The Velith were empaths. They could feel the emotions of other beings. Velith Prime was ancient and wise. Her body glowed with soft blue light when she was calm. "I have studied human emotions," she said. Her voice was gentle but strong. Yes, they feel anger. Yes, they feel hatred. But they also feel love, compassion, hope, joy. Their emotional range is greater than almost any species I have encountered. She showed different images of Earth, a mother holding her baby, friends laughing together, strangers helping each other after a disaster. They are not just killers, Velith Prime said. They are dreamers, artists, poets, scientists. They create beautiful things. They ask deep questions. They reach for something greater than themselves. She turned to face the coalition members. "You say they are violent." "Yes, they are. But they are also fighting that violence. Every human culture has people who work for peace. Every generation, more of them reject war. They are young. They are struggling. But they are growing." High Arbiter Thyssen nodded thoughtfully. "What do you suggest we do?" he asked. "The Harmony Protocols," Velith Prime said. "We have used them before. When we find a young species, we guide them. We teach them. We help them move past their violent stage and join the galactic community. It has worked many times. Never with a species like this," Admiral Kren objected. "Because we have never found a species like this," Velith Prime replied. "That does not mean it is impossible. It only means it will be harder." The third group was the largest. They were called the Isolation Faction. They did not want to destroy humanity, but they also did not want to contact them. They wanted to leave Earth alone and hope the problem solved itself. Their argument was simple. Doing anything was risky. Attacking might fail. Contacting might make things worse. The safest choice was no choice at all. "We maintain the quarantine," said Delegate Morin, a member of a species that looked like large gray slugs. "We watch them. We wait. Perhaps they will destroy themselves. They have come close many times. Perhaps they will change on their own. Either way, we are safe. For how long?" Velith Prime asked. "They are developing faster than light travel. Soon they will leave their solar system." "What then?" Delegate Morin had no good answer. He just repeated that doing nothing was safer than doing something. On the seventh day, the vote was called. Every species had one vote. Every vote was counted. The chamber was silent as the results came in. The preemptive. Coalition received 1,247 votes. The Integration Faction received 1,412 votes. The Isolation Protocol received 2,188 votes. The galaxy had chosen to do nothing. High Arbiter Thyssen announced the result with a heavy heart. He knew it was not really a decision. It was just fear dressed up as wisdom. But the rules were clear. The majority had spoken. "The Isolation Protocol is now in effect," he said. "Earth will be quarantined. No species will contact humans. No species will visit their system. We will watch and wait." He paused. "I pray this was the right choice. I pray that when we meet humanity someday, we will not regret what we decided today." The representatives began to leave the chamber. The debate was over. The decision was made. But as Vensu watched from her seat in the back of the chamber, she felt cold. She had been studying humans for weeks now. She had learned their languages, read their books, watch their videos. She knew something the others did not seem to understand. Humans did not give up. Humans did not wait quietly. Humans reached for things, grabbed things, took things. The galaxy had decided to ignore humanity, but humanity would not ignore the galaxy. Vensu looked at the image of Earth one last time before it faded from the screens. They are coming, she whispered to herself. Whether we are ready or not, they are coming. She was right. The isolation protocol would not last. Nothing could stop what was coming next. Part 4. First contact. 37 years passed. The galaxy went back to normal life. Species traded with each other. Scientists made discoveries. Children were born. Old beings died. The fear about humanity slowly faded from most minds. Earth was far away. The quarantine was working. There were other things to worry about. Then everything changed. A small human probe crossed the boundary of watch space. It was not impressive. It was small and slow. It ran on old technology. It had been traveling for many years, but it carried something important. Attached to the probe was a golden disc. On the disc, humans had recorded greetings in many languages. They had included pictures of themselves, pictures of their planet, maps showing where Earth was located. It was a message. A hello. An invitation. The humans had thrown a bottle into the ocean of space, hoping someone would find it. The Concordance found it first. They studied it carefully. Some wanted to respond. Others said no. Remember the isolation protocol. In the end, they decided to do nothing. Just watch. Just wait. But the Concordance was not the only power in the galaxy. On the edges of civilized space, there were others. Species that did not follow the rules. Pirates, raiders, slavers. They took what they wanted from anyone too weak to stop them. The worst of these were the Rethkari. The Rethkari looked like nightmares. They had long bodies covered in black armor. They had too many legs and too many eyes. They did not join the Concordance because they did not want to follow rules. They wanted to be free to hunt. When they found the human probe, they saw opportunity. A primitive species, their war leader said. Rich world. No interstellar weapons. Divided into small groups. He smiled with too many teeth. Easy prey. 3 Rethkari harvester ships set course for Earth. They did not ask permission. They did not warn anyone. They just went. The Concordance detected them too late. By the time anyone knew what was happening, the ships were already entering Earth's solar system. We must stop them, Velith Prime said in an emergency meeting. The isolation protocol forbids interference. Delegate Morin reminded her. The protocol was meant to protect humanity, not abandon them to slavers. But the debate took too long. By the time anyone decided anything, the Rethkari were already attacking. The harvester ships appeared in Earth's sky without warning. They were huge, dark, terrifying. The Rethkari expected panic. They expected surrender. They expected the primitive humans to fall down in fear and wait to be collected. That is not what happened. Within 1 hour of the first attack, every nation on Earth stopped fighting each other. Old enemies joined together. Ancient hatreds were put aside. Humans looked up at the alien ships, and they did not see gods or demons. They saw a threat, and humans knew what to do with threats. The nuclear weapons came first. For decades, humans had pointed these weapons at each other. Now they pointed them at the sky. The Rethkari had good shields. Their ships were protected against energy, weapons, plasma, lasers, all the civilized weapons of civilized species. They were not protected against nuclear bombs. The first missile hit the lead harvester ship over the Pacific Ocean. The explosion was blinding. The shield flickered, then failed. The second missile went through and hit the hull directly. The ship fell burning from the sky. It crashed into the ocean with a sound that could be heard across continents. The Rethkari could not believe it. No primitive species had ever fought back like this. No primitive species had ever hurt them. But humans were not done. The second ship tried to land troops. Thousands of Rethkari soldiers poured out of the ship, ready to capture human slaves. They walked into a storm of bullets. Human weapons were primitive by galactic standards. Simple chemical explosions pushing small metal pieces at high speed. Nothing special, but there were millions of them. And behind every weapon was a human who refused to surrender. The Rethkari soldiers were strong. They were armored. One-on-one, a human could not beat them. But humans did not fight one-on-one. They fought in groups. They supported each other. When one human fell, another took their place. And another. And another. The Rethkari pushed forward. They killed many humans. But for every step they took, they lost more soldiers. And humans kept coming. They kept fighting. They would not stop after 6 hours. The second ship tried to lift off and retreat. A combined strike of missiles from 12 different nations hit it at the same time. The ship crashed in Siberia. None of the Rethkari survived. Only the third ship remained. Its captain was smart. He saw what was happening. He ordered a retreat. The ship turned and began to fly away from Earth. Human military commanders watched it go. They knew they could not stop it. Their missiles were too slow. Their planes could not fly high enough, but the pilots did not care. 17 fighter jets from 7 different countries took off to chase the ship. They knew it was impossible. They knew they would probably die. They flew anyway. The jets flew higher than they were designed to fly. The air grew thin. The engines struggled. Pilots passed out and woke up again. Some planes fell out of the sky. 3 pilots made it to the edge of space. Their planes were dying. Their bodies were failing. They aimed their jets at the fleeing ship. They did not eject. The first jet hit the ship's left engine. The second hit the right engine. The third crashed through the weakened hull and exploded inside the ship. The last Rethkari harvester ship broke apart and fell back toward Earth. In 72 hours. Humanity had destroyed an alien invasion force. They had won. Across the galaxy. Every sensor pointed at Earth recorded the same impossible data. A pre-fossil civilization had defeated armed raiders. 3 ships destroyed. Thousands of Rethkari dead. The humans had lost millions of their own people. They did not care about the cost. They had won. The Concordance emergency meeting was chaos. "This changes everything," Admiral Kren said. His voice was different now, quieter. There was something new in his eyes. Was it fear? Or was it respect? "They know they are not alone now," Velis Prime said. "They have alien technology to study. Ships, bodies, weapons. How long until they have FTL?" High Arbiter Thiessen asked. The scientists did their calculations. The answer made everyone silent. 10 years, the lead scientist said. "Maybe less." Thiessen closed his eyes. "The isolation protocol is over," he said. "Whether we like it or not, we will meet humanity soon. The only question now is, what will they think of us when they arrive?" No one had an answer. On Earth, humans were celebrating their victory. They were also mourning their dead. They were rebuilding. They were studying the alien technology. They were asking questions. Who else was out there? Were there friends or only enemies? And why had no one helped them? That last question would matter more than anyone in the Concordance realized. The galaxy had watched humanity fight for survival. The galaxy had done nothing. Humans would remember.